parallel.
Oh, parallel.
Yep, I want your feet in parallel. Stand up straight. Okay, first thing we're going to talk about is basic ballet corrections so that everybody knows when I'm shouting a correction out what to expect. And since I can't use my hands right now, we're going to use a pointing stick. So the first thing we're going to talk about is posture. You want to make sure that you've got that straight line from your ear down through your shoulder, your hip, your knee, your ankle. You don't want your booty to stick out. You don't want your chest to drop. You don't want your shoulders to roll forward. Okay, so just stand in parallel, and you can look in the mirror and look and make sure that this is a straight line all the way up through here. Lift your chin. You want to lengthen your neck, and your focus should be slightly above your eye level, unless you're moving your head with your arm movements. If your arm is en avant, don't let the back sway when you lift the arm. Make sure you're lifted from here, the shoulders are down. If it goes to Alice a cone, make sure that you stay lifted from the back of the arm. I don't want the droopy elbow, and you don't want your hand above the elbow. So make sure that the back of the arm is lifting and that you stay solid through your torso. Okay? If your arm is above your head, you don't want the shoulder to lift. Make sure the shoulder is down and the neck stays lengthened with the chin up, and that you hold on to maintain your torso. When you turn your toes out, you want to turn out from the upper thigh, not just from the knee down, okay? So you want to actually engage these inner thigh muscles and rotate that out through the hip with the tailbone tucked under and the hip bones lifting towards the rib cage. Don't overpush, don't push too far forward. When you plie, you want to lift through the muscles first, then open the knees directly over the center of the foot and hold it there as you come up. Don't let the knee rock forward, okay? We do not want to see the knee, go ahead and plie forward, to come forward over that way, okay? You want to make sure that those knees are wide open and over the center of the foot. When you go in releve, you want to make sure that your balance is on the center of the foot, not over the big toe, not over the pinky toe, okay? So you want to have that same line down through here, go back towards your pinky toe more, to be centered. Feel that? Shoulders down, chins up, lower. When you extend the foot, when you're devant, it needs to be directly in front of your shoulder. You don't want it to overcross, and you don't want it to be too far open past the shoulder. You want it directly in front of the shoulder, rotating out from the upper thigh, lifting the heel forward. You don't want to sickle that foot. If I say sickle foot, that means your heel is dropping and your toes are coming forward of the ankle. You want the heel lifted and the toes pulled backwards. When you go to Alice a cone, you don't want to go past your second position. You want to be far enough forward of your second that you can rotate that leg out, tuck the hips and the tummy, and bring that heel forward. There. You can be slightly in front of your hip bone if that means the rotation. If you get behind your hip bone, slide further back, behind the hip bone, you start to rotate in on this upper thigh. When you tendu behind you, you want to be directly behind the shoulder. You don't want to overcross it. Show the overcross. And you don't want to be open, which is the most common mistake, especially if you are elevated with your extension. Go pick it up to arabesque. This is very common. You want to make sure that that stays behind the shoulder where it belongs. Rotate from the upper hip. Tendu down for me. And when you're in tendu, you want to be to the side of the big toe. You don't want to roll in on that foot and crunch under on the top of the toes. Okay? Arabesque arms should be slightly higher than eye height, slightly open from your shoulder, softened in the elbow. Don't go too far open. And you could be a little lower. There. Now chin should be up and focused over the hand when you're in arabesque. More lift on the chin. Good. Stay lifted here. Just because you're tenduing back, don't let the pelvis go with it, especially if you're just on the floor. Okay, that should be most of the basics, I think. Can we think of anything else? When I'm giving corrections during the class, remember what we just went over. So, go ahead. I'd like to start with the warm-up, with the strengthening warm-up, so let's go over